Yeah, I mean that's good. That's great. I mean, I'm glad we both had great summers.
Yeah.
You know, one of us is hitched, one of us is not. But we'll talk about that a bit.
You see, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have a problem with, saying my status right now. You understand? I'm very happy with my woman. However, I'm a private guy. That's all. And maybe, I wasn't ready. It's like Drake said, I'm not hiding you from the world, sweetheart, but...
That's between you and your sweetheart.
Yeah,
Talk
very
about
stupid.
that.
Yeah, very stupid.
Anyways, yeah. So we have a question. Would you call it a question? I mean, yes, actually, it's a question because it ends with a question. So we have a question that someone has sent to us from the previous season that we kind of just have to touch on before we move forward.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and read this. This says, "Good day, Chiefs. Chiefs. I'm T and I am 21 years old. I started dating this girl 6 months ago, and things were going okay until recently she started withdrawing herself. She doesn't visit me like she used to, and she said she doesn't want to have sex again. I noticed she started going to church more often and stuff like that. So I asked her what the problem was, and she said she wants to become a nun. At first, I thought it was a joke, but this girl hasn't kissed me for like a month and a half.
Mad.
So I asked her again if she was serious about her nun stuff, and she said yes. And I know one of the perks of being a nun is no outside relationship. Well, would you call it a perk? But one of the conditions... Yeah, I say one of the conditions is no outside relationship. I really like this girl, but it seems we have no future. What do I do? Do you want to go ahead?
Go
ahead.
Go and meet the Lord. Because that's a different fight, man. Not, what do you want? That's different. Wow. I've had a girl, to be fair, that... Not that she became a nun, but she became very, like at a young age, she became very invested in her Christianity that, she changed and took away some things in her life. While me, on the other hand, I was still, doing my thing and all that. And it's not like, but the funny thing is when we were together, we were so close. But I know I started seeing like, as she started growing in her spiritual journey, which I wasn't there yet, like, she started withdrawing from certain things she was doing. She calmed down. Then eventually, it's like everybody in life. When you start reaching certain phases in your life, you start looking at what things are for me and not for me, what people are not for me and all that. And even with our relationship, as much as she liked me and all that, I knew she wouldn't want to be following me to certain places every time or doing certain things every time you get. So it already started to cause a disconnect that eventually, even me, at that time, I think luckily for me, I noticed it early that I was like, I was able to have a conversation with her. Because me, I'm the kind of person like, if there's any issue, let's actually talk about it, man or woman. So I went to talk to her about it, and then she opened up to me, and then it was like, all right, fair. I respect your view. So I'll say for him, if he really likes her, he should have a conversation with her in terms of knowing where she is with her spiritual journey, where she wants to go with it, and if he can fit himself in those plans. Because, to be fair, he can still be himself, but there's certain things she's not going to follow you to or do with you. Are you, as a man, also ready to accept that? And it's okay to say no. Like, sometimes as guys, I think when we get into, especially when we're young, if you're in a relationship, you think it's do or die. No, be do or die when you're young. You still get life, I beg. But ask yourself if you can handle it. And if you feel like you can, go ahead. If you feel like you can't, it's okay to withdraw yourself.
So, I mean, I totally agree with you. And I was going to say that I feel like, there's portions of the experience. Obviously, he only had, a certain amount of space or characters to work with, right? But obviously, he hasn't given us any pretext on if they had a discussion about her wanting to go in that direction. And because I don't imagine that she would just wake up, I want to be, or just start doing non-stuff if she's in a relationship with you, without telling you, this is the direction I want to go in. This is what I'm trying to do now with my life.
But don't forget,
because there are people,
they're
there are
21,
people,
so you don't
like
really
that.
have that.
True. So, well, he said he's 21. We don't know how old she is. He might be older. but yeah. So I think again, of course, you've already hit the nail on the head. There's nothing you can do. I definitely don't convince her to not go in that direction, right? So the best you can do is just show support and. If you really like her, I mean, it's crazy that we're the ones saying this now. If you like her, let her go. That thing, yeah. Even though when we were 21, I didn't want to believe that shit, bro.
Where are you going?
But yeah, if you really like her, I think just respect her decisions. If she wants to include you in the plans, like you said, she will. If she doesn't, then, I mean, that's life. You take that breakfast and you move, man, because it's breakfast in his own head.
Breakfast, like, yo, 21, there's no such thing as breakfast at that young age. You get life, fool.
See, but that's the thing. See,
You don't know it's there.
Yes, when you're 21, you're deep in.
You don't
All
know
the
it then.
butterflies are hitting you different angles.
To be fair.
Because he clearly really likes her. You know, and
I'm trying to think, well,
man was talking about they haven't kissed in 1 month. He's obviously not even trying to get kisses from anybody else.
oh, man, that's a I ain't go. Is that a problem for you? If your girlfriend can't kiss you, is that a problem?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
because
yeah,
because it's show of affection. And the one show of affection she's not even doing willingly.
I'm touchy. I'm like already
it's
feeling
like-
tired. It's just like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's like you're not even trying to, nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, like he said, I thought he had stopped having sex. So, like, okay, the sex
Yeah,
one,
that one's
okay, fine, out of the way, but
fine.
not even a kiss.
Respect that, but not even,
Yeah, so I think at that point,
So what, just-
he's gone.
He.
Yeah. That's so awkward, man. Because it might not even be a full hug, might be a side hug.
God forbid.
What's the point?
Yeah. So, but anyways, yeah. I mean, good luck with your
Pray. Go
yeah,
and pray.
just yeah.
She's praying. Go and
Not
pray.
not to her, but just pray, okay? Because she's not fully a nun yet. Don't. Yeah.
Could you date a girl that was about to become a pastor or wants to become a pastor?
So that's a very good question, and the easy answer would have been no, but the reason for the no is not because she's trying to be a pastor, but because of my idea of what the whole pastorship thing is when it comes to Nigerian context.
Fair.
And I'm just like, okay, so is it that this is just her own Ponzi scheme? She wants to just cash out or be popular? No, of course, me not saying that all pastors are like that, but I mean, if we're being honest, right? If we're being honest, I mean, you find that, a lot of pastors are balling. Let's be honest, in comparison to their congregation. I mean, you're a pastor with private jets. Your people can barely afford 3 square meals. But again, it's one way to
So
look
you
at
have
it.
your reservations.
Exactly. So
Fair enough.
I would look at her, and of course, she would try to give me reasons why it's more for the people. But I would have to see that.
So if she, I was just about to say, she's proving it because I understand where you're coming from. I always tell people when it comes to the arguments like that, I like listening to both sides because for people to say what you're saying, there's facts on it, and there are facts on it. Let's not lie to ourselves. However, there are also a lot of good pastors we don't talk about. Same way with me. So
of course,
I'm saying. So I was going to ask, like you said, if she showed you those good signs early, or not even early, during the process of it, you can see generally she's doing everything to be a pastor. Would you be okay with it?
So, so I think the stage of our relationship will depend on if I'll be because what you're asking now is if I'm giving her like benefits of doubt. So if we're at the stage where I already liked her, right, and then she's trying to switch into that direction, then yes, I would look at the actions. And I'm like, okay, this is genuine. She seems like she, genuinely wants to do this to help people, to bring, maybe she's been in this place where she experienced certain things. She wants people to have that same epiphany and be able to, emancipate themselves from. But if it's like we're just talking, we haven't, I mean, I still, I'm not sure where my feelings are towards her. I'm just going to be like, yeah, good luck with your endeavors. I'm not getting involved in that. I am not getting involved in that at all. Because there's actually nothing worse than somebody. There's actually nothing worse than. Now, let me tell you why my reason is at all. There's actually nothing worse than you being celibate because you're trying to, support somebody who's in that journey of Christianity or whatever religion it is, and then they cheat on you. There's really nothing worse than they are the ones who commit the infidelity.
But then, is that not the case of you thinking of the negative already? You're already thinking of the negative.
As an experienced over 30 man, there's no way I'm walking into a relationship at this stage.
But you have to put your guard down if you want to do it.
But that's the thing. Again, like I said,
I had to put my guard down to say, okay, let me be more serious.
And that's because you were already kind of liking the person.
I don't feel like doing this.
You were already kind of liking the person.
But then how many girls have I liked in the past?
Which is fair. And that's why I'm saying that if I like her a little bit, then I can consider it. I'm like, okay, let me.
But then the thing is, here's the thing about me, and that's why I said she probably passed the test, is that I would like you and, like I say, give you chances, or I attempt to at least be, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say compromising, but understanding.
Okay.
But if you are not giving me that same energy, back.
Wait, actually, that's it. Hold on. When you say giving the energy back, so what does someone who is going into the whole religious journey, what do they do to show that they're also giving you the same energy? Because your energy.
I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. It's so Oh, it's so funny we're talking about this now. I haven't talked about this actually before. There was sometimes there was a point in life that I almost disliked girls my age in my 20s that went to church.
Okay.
And when I said that, is like, not went to church, let me rephrase that were very strong in the church and spoke their mind.
Okay.
Because in
spoke
my
their
early
mind about Christianity.
like they were very, let me explain it. So in my early 20s, obviously, when I was,
okay.
Because in my early 20s, when I was doing this, when I was even started the party thing, obviously in my early 20s, everybody's different then. So obviously me, I was a little wild and all that shit. Fine, but I knew who I was, and I also had my own faith in God then. You understand? And I would notice, obviously, there are a lot of beautiful girls that go to the church, obviously. And me, I would still go to church, you understand? Like, even though, like, I would do my parties, I knew things. People don't realize something. As much as I was doing my parties and doing everything, there's always a limit to everything I did. And because I knew so many people doesn't mean I did what they were doing. You understand? But then
by association, people would always
exactly because the 2 times you might see me, especially at the time, is okay. You'd see me at my event or my party or somewhere else at an event, but you wouldn't see me on my normal regular days, or we wouldn't have those conversations unless me and you actually sat down. So long story short, to get to the point I'm saying is that at that time, a lot of them would be very judgmental, like, oh, because you're doing this, or even how we even said it, like, I look like the guy now that is notoriously single, like, you judge without actually talking or getting to know me. And even in the Bible, it says, judge unless thou be judged. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but it's like, even me, I take that principle for myself, whereby I don't care if you are the poorest person or the richest person. I will treat everybody the same. Now, obviously, you understand people with higher wealth or importance have a certain aura or a way you address them. But it doesn't mean you are now greater than me or better than me because you have money. And same thing as a poor person. Doesn't mean I'm better than you and all that. So so for me, it's like, even as a Christian, I treat everybody with respect and love. You girls now, on the other hand, don't do that for a guy like me, because you're already judging me for my physical appearance or the things you've heard about me without actually talking to me. And that happened for a long ass time. And that's why I was like, you know what, man? Like, I really had a dislike for girls like that, and I always noticed them in the church.
Yeah, I mean,
but then I had to now grow
yeah.
from that,
right.
And it took time. That's a grow that I had to, like I said, it's just going to that point, like, I cannot care what anybody says unless you actually know me. And that's why I said there's more peace of mind, because guess what? The girl that's meant for me will find her way. I leave you alone, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing about, that church journey is another topic we're gonna have. Like, because I mean, I've worked.
Like we've been a touchy one there. Like we both hit up. Like
I've worked in the church. I used to be in the choir. I used to be a saxophonist in the choir as well. Like so I've worked in the church.
I grew up in, and I think I grew up in the church literally. Like my pastor in Atlanta, Pastor Akindoju, shout out to you. His son's my best friend. Shout out Toby. But people don't realize that's the reason why I didn't go create. Like, when there's that line in Yankee, as they always say, Yankee boys, like, you're almost there. So me, I'm here.
Yeah, I get you.
I didn't go like this because I was in the church every day. So, but again, it's the judgmental thing that, especially from girls, and then I was like, nah, you church girls, I want to leave you alone, man.
Yeah. So, and I think I agree. And I think let's touch more on the judgmental thing, because I think that also was one of the reasons why I had to sit back and look at Christianity a lot closer, because I found that so many people that were staunch Christians were so judgmental. Like, I couldn't.
But would you say it's Christians or Nigerians?
No,
because
so of course
Christians is a large.
So you know why I speak on. Of course, we're still talking in the context of Nigeria. I don't know how American Christians are.
Fair enough.
I don't know how British Christians are.
Fair enough.
But I also talk in the concept of Nigerian Christianity, because it's not just Christianity as a whole. We have imbued a lot of our traditions to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like how you have churches that will say don't wear trousers. Those things are things that to me come from you are just trying to put in tradition in what is globally accepted already. So we're talking in the Nigerian context, right?
Fair enough.
And I got to find out a lot of staunch Christians who were really about their Christianity were displaying a lot of what they were preaching against. And I had to really understand how that worked, because you can't be saying you're a core Christian like this, Meanwhile, you're judging me to the core. You get, and even I mean, it literally says who without say cast the first stone. You're just casting stones left and right. Meanwhile, I saw you telling a lie the other. It could even be the littlest lie, but I saw you telling a lie the other day, and I'm just like, okay. I mean, where's the balance here? So I think, and that's why I said, with having to date someone that is, a core Christian, it's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot I have to consider. It has to be that, okay, one, we have a lot of history to the point that I have to consider that this is a journey that,
you've been on for a long while. From afar, I saw it.
Exactly. You get
okay.
It's either that or I've even known you and you were not on that journey, but, that switch is actually, I'm seeing your life quality get better since you decided to switch and be on that journey. It could be that I've known you for the last 20 years and, you were just the average, but now you've decided to really, focus on that and your life quality is changing. And by life quality, you're actually a better, person than you were before by all grounds. With stuff like that, I'll be like, okay, let me see if this is something I can coexist with and see if I can work. But other than that, I'm not considering nothing. I meet somebody new. Oh, yeah, I'm trying to be a pastor. Good luck with your pastorship. It's not my business. It's really not my business. My own is just be a good person day in to day out. Like, I don't really care much because there's so much going on with all of that. So I'm just like, I'm not trying to be involved.
Last one, and then I'll switch it up.
All right.
If your wife after
if I marry someone that she wants to be a pastor.
If your wife after 5 years wants to become a pastor, what would she say?
So if we're being honest, at that point she's my wife. I have to support. No, it's the truth. At that point she's my wife, and I'll have to support her. Fair. I mean, it might be
hard,
draining, right? And I say draining because you probably have to do a lot of church time, more church time than I normally would. Probably have to do a lot of pastors meetings, things that really have to be supported.
Yo, let me tell you
a
right now.
A lot of screaming at 3
My pastor, right? Like, people don't realize how close I was with their family. Like, I used to stay at their house every weekend. So I'll be at school Monday to Friday. Once it's Friday, I'm off to Toby's house till Sunday or Monday morning.
Right.
So even sometimes during the week, my mom was now like president of the Women's Association in church. So even the prayer meetings and stuff they have, I'll go with her every time. Then if I now stay at pastor's house, I'm seeing all the meetings him and his wife are going to. I'm like, yo, this is quite a lot of obligations you guys have. And imagine if you are the spouse that's not even the pastoral one. Yeah. Imagine how you have to really, like you say.
You have to like, yeah. So it's a lot. It's a lot too. It's a lot. But like I said, if she's my wife already at that point, I mean, it literally says till death do us part. So it means that any conditions, as long as they're not detrimental to our marriage, any conditions, I just have to support her.
Fair enough.
That's the truth. I mean, but if she's not my wife.
Sweetheart, there's too many more out there. I'm not killing myself right now. But let me ask you a question, because we're on this topic and all. So